Cor.
Yeah.
My handwriting is terrible.
Yeah, no, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and so luckily, this next team built a tool for me to make sure that you never have to read my handwriting again.
Thank God.
Hi, I'm Alex Rivie, and this is Jonathan Soler. Thank you for being here. We created a small bash script that would save things. It's a command line tool for saving things. Because it's a terminal application, it can get any input and output from the terminal. So a lot of times when you're using a terminal, you're typing a ton of commands, you have your history, you're grepping it, but then you have something in a VM that has a different history, you're using SSH, like all that information is in different places. So our idea was to just have one file by default. When you run the program, it's going to go to a save file in your home folder, and everything is going to be there with a timestamp, and you can grab that or do other stuff like that. It's a file, so you can use any other Linux program with it. So a basic usage of save, just running save with no arguments is going to save the last command in your history. A lot of times you are trying to do something and the syntax is wrong and stuff like that, so you just type save and it's there, just forget about it, continue on. Otherwise, you could just send any string of text into save and it'll save it. The point is that it's fast. Like any idea you have, you just put it in there, just keep going on. Now, if you do save-i and put in a command, you're going to get its output and the command that you typed in into that save file. So something like ls is gonna show ls and then your directory structure. That gets interesting when you send in something interactive like bash. You can literally log your entire session. And it's saved exactly with all the colors and everything. When you were output it, you could do it with SSH or MSF console. And then you just, we have a parser for SSH and bash that works, but you could write a parser for anything. And our parser just kind of greps, but also shows the output. So if you search for like a ping or an nmap, it'll show you all the instances of you using nmap and their output. So I'm going to hand it off to John to show you save in action.
All right, thank you very much. So let's say Lucy is a student trying to conduct a Hydra brute force on a machine. She tries again and again to get the Hydra scan correct, and finally, at long at last, she gets that. But she knows in her head that she's not going to remember every detail of that scan. So she calls save to immediately grab that command from her history and place it into a text file. As you can see here, upon viewing the contents of the file, everything is exactly the same as when she executed it. But she has an idea, she has a thought. She wants to write down a note somewhere and not think about it. She wants to know exactly where that comment is going to be. So she calls save with her note, and she gets all of that into a text file. It's completely out of her mind, and it's all saved in one place where it needs to be. Lucy also can call save with a command, which saves the command itself and save the contents of that command within the text file as well, given with the date and timestamp. Now, on another hand, we can pass SSH into save to create a session. This entire session is going to be logged. Everything within that is going to be saved to a text file from the commands that Lucy inputs to the output that she's getting. Everything looks exactly the same because that is it. Everything from that SSH session is going to be within the text file. Now, on another hand, we have when Lucy executes or puts in a bash session into save, and she wants to look through this log report that she created for herself for every single ping command that she has there. She can use this with the -p flag for parse, and upon that she can search for every single ping command. This also works with nmap or ls or any other command that you pass through. As long as the session that you created has those commands within there, you can find them in any contents of that. So in conclusion, save makes life easier. Always save. Don't forget to save. Everything is a log in a text file, and to automate your process to make your life easier. And as an extra, we also included Save Me to save yourself. For people who are low on motivation and just need that extra kick, you can always execute Save Me because you can do anything.
You know, I'm not 100% certain of the relevance to your handwriting, but I think it's a really impressive tool, right? Like I've always been a fan of like KeepNote. I've had my own sort of structure when I'm going through the recon phases of a pen test, and my biggest problem is this sort of disjoint feeling between the GUI and what I'm trying to do in the terminal. And I know they tried to sell it, but I'm gonna even sell it harder here. Like, this is awesome. Like, the ability, even the SSH transcribing and being able to spawn an entire terminal that's just being captured, input and output, that kind of control that shows, one, that they have a really good understanding of like the way the Linux command line system works, right, within Bash, and then two, their ability to script on top of that and provide all this additional functionality that was lacking for many of us during the recon phases. So I think it's a pretty impressive app.
Yeah, writing reports after the fact, it's always annoying to go back and say, hey, do I have the outputs of those commands? Did I remember what flags I used? If I rerun it now, will that even exist anymore? It's so much easier to just save it ahead of time, and then I don't have to write my notes out and turn them into you.
Oh God, yeah. All right, well, no more of that. And so using save, and we'll talk about another tool now that's going to make life just a little bit easier.